Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and I am not alone. She is a pro wrestler and the champion cat mom. Please welcome Sarah the Rebel.
What it do?
And we have an amazing show. We're going to do Star of the Week, Rapid Hot Tags, all that good stuff. But we have an amazing guest. I know you're not here just to see us. She hails from Florida. She is an amazing wrestler. Please welcome Kiah Dream.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
So how are you doing? How's everything during this whole COVID thing that's going on?
Everything's good. Honestly, I feel like even though it's made a lot of setbacks, it's provided a lot of opportunities as well. So the hustle is still the same.
And now I feel like because I used to run track, and I feel like how the states are broken up as far as wrestling. And correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like Texas, Florida, and like California, they're kind of like hubs for wrestling, and of course Canada, but it's not in the country. Are kind of hubs for wrestling. It just seems like there's a lot of like wrestlers and wrestling promotions coming out of Florida.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm from Georgia, so I literally moved like straight from Georgia to Florida. So I definitely got a lot more opportunities and a lot more wrestling here for sure.
So tell us so you have a bit of a kickboxing background. So how did you combine everything into wrestling? Because I feel like that's starting to be the play for a lot of different promotions or a lot of different wrestlers.
Yeah, see, I'm still trying to figure that part out because honestly, it's a little different because with wrestling, it's a lot more entertainment aspect as well. So with boxing and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I did, it's a little, you kind of just go for it. But in wrestling, it's kind of like a dance, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I did Muay Thai before wrestling training, and I felt like it served nothing. And in fact, it made me kind of bad at first because in Muay Thai, you're like, don't get hit, like you do a lot of protection. Yeah. So
yeah,
I feel you there.
Exactly. So it does kind of make it harder in a way because it's like you're so used to just reacting. And in wrestling, you do get to the point where you're able to react, but it's a little different.
So, both of you guys, I just thought of this question, so both of you guys can answer this question. The chop to the chest, you can't fake that. Like, I don't know if you can give the behind the scenes, but you can't fake that. Like, you hear the slap, all that other good stuff. Like, what? And you have lady parts there. So how does that happen? How do you make it believable? And, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it looks pretty grueling. I don't want to chop my head.
It's so funny. So it just is. I know at my school, they have a day where it's chop day and everybody chops you over and over and your chest looks like hamburger meat and it's to help you build a callus to it. But meanwhile, the one time in a match where somebody's hand accidentally got my nipple, I wanted to faint. So I don't know, Kiah, sorry if you have any different experience than that.
We haven't even really had a chop day, but it does hurt. It's just like a slap, and I just try to let me sail away so that you don't do it again. Like, let me get away from you.
Oh my god, yeah, that's just popped up in my mind. So if you had some matches against Amber Nova and some other folks, like tell me. In the era that we're in, social media plays like a really big role. It's no longer like we interviewed, I forgot who it was. It was the trainer from WoW. What's her name again?
Selena Majors?
Yes.
Selena Majors.
How she, like back in the day, she would send cassette tapes of her wrestling. And now it just seems like you have wrestling and then you have social media, and that plays a huge role on, people getting to know you, etc. So how are you implementing social media and wrestling into your career?
Basically, it is like really all about who your following is and like getting a bigger following. One thing about me though, I really don't like a lot of people in my business. So that I know that sounded kind of weird, but like kind of harsh, but it's weird for me because it's like I have to kind of find things to post that are like not too much or not. It's like I'm still having trouble finding that medium where it's like, okay, this is, acceptable, because some things are like too much, and then it's like I don't really like people always knowing what I'm doing, but with the career that I'm in, it's like that's how it's going to be, especially with social media. So I'm still trying to figure that out, and like mainly like right now I'm trying to do like the fitness and like yoga thing, like just things that I do versus like my personal life on my social media.
But you have obviously, see, I should have asked you this question before we hopped on. I checked out your social media, and you have a little boo thing. Is he still?
We seen you, man.
Around?
We seen him.
Oh, all right now. Yeah. What about him?
Did you guys train together, and that's how you met, or did you meet outside of training?
No, the funny thing about that, we were actually neighbors, so we live like right next to each other, and I just seen him because he's like really tall, so I was like, he looks like he wrestles, and I was like, let me just see, because I kept seeing him because he literally was like next door to me, and yeah, I found him on Instagram, and when I, walked by, I would say something like, we kind of just met from there, and it just went from there.
So, because the reason I asked, and see, this is you let the door open. So the reason I asked, I did a little dive. She's like, oh, I was like, oh, she has a boot thing. He's cute, and then you put his name there, so I had to click on his name. So he's signed with WWE. And the reason I asked that is I wonder if, like, you've been to the PC Center, or like, you kind of, you guys train together, or you meet other people from WWE. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I will say I've met a lot of people through him, like with events that really don't have anything to do with wrestling. So that's nice. But as far as training, like he trains at the PC. I train I train at D-Von Dudley's academy right now. So that's just kind of how that is.
Andy Brown?
Andy Brown.
He would be new there. I think he just started training there. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Maybe if I see him, I'm better with faces, especially if he just started. But I'm sure I do.
So what's that like training at that academy? Do you actually get to work with D-Von, or are you mostly working with like other folks training you on the day-to-day?
Yeah, we work with D-Von a lot. He's always there. He does a really good job of just like being there, and honestly, he's the most genuine trainer I've ever had, and I really like his school because I've been to a few different schools that wasn't it.
Yeah.
So this one is like, I actually feel like he's genuine and he cares, because a lot of promoters or people who run schools, they're so obviously just about the money. And of course you have to put in the work, but it's just really, to me, it's always obvious when someone isn't genuine. And maybe I just read people very well, but you can tell. You can just tell when they don't care.
Knowing one of the schools you went to, I 100% agree with you on that. I was kind of nervous knowing you were training there, but so I'm happy you're at this place now.
Yes.
Okay, she always wants extra tea. We'll talk afterwards.
All right.
So you're part of a... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go, Sarah.
So you're part of a group called Culture Inc. Is that a stable? Is that your crew? Can you talk a little bit about y'all, what brought you guys together and what your goals are?
Yeah, so with Culture, they basically kind of just hit me up on Instagram, and I had met them at a show, so they kind of just needed a girl in the group and asked me to, and told me what they were about, and then pretty much just asked me to join. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea, because like what they're trying to do and what we're trying to do, basically, because it's we. But basically, like, to me, like, Black culture is just about being yourself and taking pride in who you are and where you come from, for the most part. Because I think in wrestling recently it's gotten a lot better and a lot more cultural, but before, you can kind of tell that when you have like a lot of, it's not a race thing, it's a culture thing. It's just like when you have like a lot of white writers, directors, and things like that, they may not understand the Black culture or whatever culture. It's different. And just like that understanding and just basically like, putting our stuff out there, and like I say, it's getting a lot better, especially like Bianca Belair, like what she's doing is really, really good. So
it's so interesting to me. I'm like maybe 10 years older than you, I think. Hearing you say that Black culture is about being yourself for mixed people, sometimes that can be a really hard lesson to come to, because sometimes it feels like you have to pick or you have to choose, or people are putting you in a box. So like, kudos to you for having that figured out already, because it takes a lot of us a long time.
it does. In school, like when I was in high school and stuff, I never really cared about friends that much. I've always just been kind of like, I'm, trying to do what I need to do and go about my way. But it was always kind of like being mixed. It's like you're either too black for the white people or you too white for the black. Wait, yeah, too white for the black people. So it's like hard to find that in between. And like who I have my select few friends, who were genuine. But if I gotta, if it's about that popular stuff and all that, I never really was interested because I've known my worth. So.
Yeah, you seem like a very take it or leave it type person. Like, here, this is who I am. If you don't like it, you can kick rocks. So I get that vibe. Like,
Exactly.
So as far as wrestling, like you've been watching it for a long time. What made you want to like take that? Like, okay, I want to become a wrestler and put everything into it.
Well, when I was younger, I would watch it, and then we would go to the shows, and all the experiences were just so like fun, and it was like I should be in that ring. I don't need to be in the crowd right here. I need to be right there. But I was like 10 at the time. But then when I like grew up and was graduating, I was working a lot, so I really wasn't thinking about I really had no idea what I wanted to do. And then my dad was watching wrestling one day, and he was like, "You should do that," like joking. And I was like, "You know what? That's a great idea." And I ended up just, well, first I trained in Georgia, and I kind of got my feet wet. It was a pretty decent school. It was just like it was pretty decent school. But then I was like, I just kind of want to go all in and just moved to Florida, and ever since it's been a fun, crazy journey, and I'm enjoying it.
Now, were you gonna say something, Sarah?
Okay. Well, actually, I was. So I know you're mixed with Asian as well. Have you ever watched any Japanese wrestling or tried to like look at wrestlers from different cultures?
Yes. Actually, I really would like to go to Japan because I really love their style. Like, I love the strong style. And I feel like it just makes it look more like real. I mean, not that it's not real, because we know how wrestling is, but
right.
It's just like I like that strong style, and that's something like I've been wanting to incorporate in my wrestling. It's just something I have to practice. But yeah, even like I was really trying to debate because I'm trying to learn like Mandarin right now, and I was really debating on like doing Japanese as well, because like I would love to go wrestle in Japan. And I really just love that culture, so it's kind of like I was trying to decide, but yeah, I definitely watch stuff from like New Japan. I think I was watching Kabashi the other day. Yeah, and Samoa Joe. So I like watching stuff like that.
You did mention in a previous interviews that you wanted to go to Puerto Rico. How's as I know COVID has kind of changed a lot of our plans. Is that still in the game plan, or are you just kind of seeing, where this pandemic is going to take us?
It's still in the game plan. Honestly, like I want to go everywhere. I love to travel. I've been to like Africa, Paris, Mexico. So like seeing that at a younger age really made me love traveling, and I would love to like travel and wrestle. So since COVID, I don't think they're really doing anything in a lot of other places right now. But when the opportunity comes, I mean, I'm down.
And now give us your top 5 list. It doesn't matter what promotion they're from, who you would love to have a match with.
Top 5. Well, one, my favorite since I was little is Mickey James. 2, Gail Kim. 3, I'm trying to think women. Ooh. I really like Xia Li. I've been looking at her stuff, and I've also been taking Kung Fu. So I've been watching her stuff, and I'm like, that would be so cool. I know she's like way more advanced and experienced, but since I've been like doing it and I'm like watching her stuff, I'm like, oh, that would be so cool. Like if I like got to like a good level on it, or whenever I do, that would be really cool. Who else do I really like? Cause back in the, I'm trying to think when I was like younger, that's pretty much. I used to really like the Bella Twins, but I'm thinking like right now, like Bianca Belair, and just cause I love her, like I love everything she's about, everything she's doing. So that's 4, and I'm trying to think 5. Cause I watch a lot of men wrestlers too.
Yeah, it could be men too.
Yeah, it could be a guy. Yeah, we're fine.
Oh, that can be a guy. I would say RVD, Rob Van Dam, because I like his martial arts style too. So
the next question is, how do you have time? So you're doing Mandarin, you're taking Kung Fu, you're wrestling, you have a very tall boyfriend. Not to say that takes a lot of time. I mean, how do you have time to fit all that in?
I'm figuring that out myself. I would be struggling sometimes trying to figure that out because I feel like I take on so much sometimes, and it's like because my mindset is like I don't have kids. I'm young. Like that's what my parents always told me. They're like, you don't have kids. You're young. You can do this, do that. So it's like I'm always trying to like just take on something because I feel like why not? Like, and there's so much free stuff nowadays too. It's like there's no reason I shouldn't be like learning more and adding more. Like that's just gonna make me more valuable in the long run because there's just a lot of things I enjoy doing, and I feel like it just helps, especially in wrestling, to be like have multiple skills. Especially these days, like it seems like they hire from like WWE specifically. It seems like they hire a lot of athletes, which is cool. But it's like, well, I gotta compete with these athletes, so I gotta make myself like more valuable in a way. Not that I'm not, but just like add on to the collection of things.
But it's also crazy though, like speaking of WWE, because like I said, I did do a deep dive on both you and your boyfriend's IG because you let it up, you put it there for me to look. So I went down his page and there's a picture that he had with a lot of folks that were signed, I guess around the same time he got signed. And some of them were athletes and some of them are not even there anymore. So I think it's like the athletic part is definitely important, but there's in wrestling today, and you guys can both like correct me if I'm wrong. It's just like there's so much more than being a wrestler. Like the mic skills. I think if you have that mic skill and you can wrestle, that puts you on a whole different level where like promotions are like after you, opposed to like, okay, well, like they're a good wrestler, and then the social media plays a part too. So it's just the athletic part is great, but like I said, and I don't know if you're going to take off his tag now, but you can go to his page and look at that picture, and it's just like half those people are not even there anymore, and they're top of the line athletes. So, that's just an observation.
One of them.
So,
to look at his.
Of course, there's more to it than just. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I don't know if you were talking. You're fine, because I kind of went out for a second. But I was just basically saying that it's definitely a lot more to it. Even me, like I've taken acting classes as well because, I mean, that's the big part. Because you got to be able to tell a story at the end of the day. Like, and it's easier said than done. Like, but you just got to Gotta learn all aspects of it.
Just got to put the work into it. So what's your ultimate dream for your career? I know you had mentioned in previous interviews, WWE. Is it still that, or, we have so many different promotions and so much other things other than WWE going on, but the WWE, that's cool too. But like, what's the ultimate goal for your career?
My ultimate goal, I mean, it is to be in WWE because that's what I grew up watching. But mainly it's just, to make a difference and like be a role model to girls like myself when I was younger, because I really, really looked up to like some of the rest, like Melina. Oh, I forgot to mention Melina. That's probably number 5, actually. Mickey James. And it's like I really like looked up to them. So it's like I would like, to be a role model, because I have 2 little sisters and I have brothers too. So I'm always trying to, and I'm the oldest. So I'm always trying to give them something to look up to and like to inspire others to do what you love to do. Like, follow your dreams, because when I was in Georgia and I told people I wanted to be a wrestler, they looked at me like I was so crazy. So many people were like, "You can't do that. You need to go to school." And it's like, I would have liked to go to school, but being like $50,000 in debt just didn't sit right with me. When it's like these days, there's so much potential to do other things. Like, you got YouTube, you got so many things that you can do that are not just like the basic like 9 to 5. Because just like growing up seeing like my parents work, just like these jobs, that doesn't make them any less, important. But it's just like, do what you love and follow your dreams, because you got this lifetime and you need to live it and fulfill your soul's purpose.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if you watched what was that Disney movie, Soul? That
Yes.
seems like yeah.
I've watched that movie like 3 times.
Oh my gosh, that sounds on the same level of that, so I'll take it. So we're gonna get into rapid hot tags. So rapid hot tags is, I'm gonna ask you a question. You can say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Women's wrestling talk. Rapid hot tags.
Rapid Hot Tags is brought to you by Goalie Nutrition, the world's first apple cider vinegar gummy. Use the code TK Trinidad 5 to get your discount today. So the first question is, do you prefer cooking at home or ordering out?
Ordering out, but I cook.
If you were to wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be?
To read minds.
Okay. What in your life are you most grateful for?
My family.
If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the body or mind of a 20-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, what would it be?
Definitely a body.
Yes, we agree with that choice.
I know, right? And if you were to have a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, I kind of just answered that, but you know how Doctor Strange is kind of like that, like the metaphysical stuff, like things like that.
All right, I'll take it.
You have to open portals.
Sometimes I do wish we could do that, because I really believe that there are other portals, but it's a whole nother discussion. If you want to get healthy for 2021, then you want to incorporate Goalie Nutrition in your life. Goalie gummies are gluten-free, gelatin-free, vegan, non-GMO, and made with select organic ingredients. Make sure you go to goalie.com to get your discount, TK Trinidad 5 today. And now we're going to hit the star of the week real quick.
Women's wrestling talk. Star of the week with Sarah the Rebel.
Star of the Week is brought to you by Label My Keys. Use code WWTalk for 50% off all orders. Today's Star of the Week is Nicole Savoy. Debuting at Primal Conflict Wrestling in 2011, Savoy is known as the Queen of Suplexes and has wrestled for Rise, Shimmer, and Japan Stardom. She participated in WWE's Mae Young Classic, where she defeated Reina Gonzalez before losing to Candice LeRae. She also participated in AEW's Casino Battle Royal and later the AEW Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament, where she teamed with Big Swole. She also wrestled for Ring of Honor and was later slated to participate in their Quest for Gold tournament before it was canceled due to the pandemic. We can't wait to see where she ends up, as she's sure to sign with a major company soon. Want to learn more about a star of the indie wrestling scene? Shoot us your suggestions for future Stars of the Week. And don't forget to check out labelmykeys.com and enter the code WWTalk for 50% off your order.
Thank you, Sarah. So where can everybody find you if they're not following you right now?
Pretty much just Instagram. I have been kind of slacking lately, but I'm gonna get back on that. It's Kiah Dream, so KIAH, and then Dream DREAM, and as well as Twitter. I'm not really a Twitter person, but I still have it. So
Yeah, social media is just like a whole nother job, and you're doing a bunch of stuff as is, so I completely understand. Where can everybody find you, Miss Sarah the Rebel?
You can find me everywhere, literally everywhere. Go to the website, just type in Sarah the Rebel. I'm probably on it. Sarah as an H is God in the Bible intended.
And thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Kiah, for joining us. We really appreciate it. We look forward to the rise of your career because you have so much stuff going on. Like you being in the ring, speaking Mandarin on on television, it seems like an amazing thing to me. I'm just putting it out there. Continue doing what you're doing. I tell you, it's almost like when John Morrison, like for people who are getting like reintroduced to him, the fact that like he speaks like Spanish and you're looking at him like, oh, but this is like he doesn't fit the aesthetic of what you would think is just I think it's amazing. So keep doing it.
Put all the tools in your toolbox.
Thank you.
I know, right?
Working on it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to us on any other podcast platform, make sure to follow us. We really, really appreciate it. Check our website, www.talkpod.com. We have a whole rating system there now that you can check out. Definitely go there. It's going to be all on the website. All our social media is there too. All our new shows. Pro Wrestling Pets is a new show that we have. And we really appreciate for all the content that we're putting out that you guys support us. And do you want different ways to support us? You just look below. We have a Venmo, we have a Cash App, we have coffee.com, all that good stuff. We really, really appreciate you guys' support because without you guys, we wouldn't, be able to keep doing what we're doing. And you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Till next time, guys. Ciao.